Hey everybody, so it's been a while since we've shot a video. We've been gotten caught up in all of our work. Still in the States. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo, big time.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, a little discouraging.
Totally discouraging. We've been to France twice during this pandemic, and both times it kind of just opened up. Like the first time it opened up in Canada, go through Canada. Second time it opened up through London. And we were like waiting for something to open up and nothing's opening up. So it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be expensive. Right now, only a couple of options, going through Poland, going through Slovenia, but we'll get there. It may take 2 or 3 days. Kind of also hard because we're gonna bring this little guy. Yes, that guy with the beautiful red coat.
It's really rainy here.
Yeah, he's gonna love being at the Chateau, but it makes
Won't we all?
Traveling a lot harder. In the meantime, we figured we'd talk a little bit about another one of our favorites. Now this one, other than the Grifferaie, this one was maybe my favorite. This is one of the first ones I looked at and said, wow. What was it, 800,000 at the start, and it actually went down to 700,000 later, 698 if you can believe it.
Yep.
I was yes, you were not as much yes.
Well, I really liked the outside. I thought it was great. And I just sort of reserved judgment until we got there. And then some of my ideas of what I thought it might be were kind of true. So then I wasn't so sure if this was going to be good for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think this thing was incredible. It's massive. You'll see. We'll go show you the video here in a second. But judge for yourself. This was something. Okay, so I was super excited about this one. I thought this had the real possibility. It was 5 hours from Paris, but look at it. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the outside was super fun.
Oh my goodness, just magnificent. And the price was reasonable too.
It was.
But then we came in. Big
foyer, interesting floors in this house overall. This house has gone through many incarnations of different uses over the years, which has kind of changed and altered its appearance at different points in history, for good and not as good.
So you can see when we first come in, the floor was kind of cool. It was that mosaic tile. But then, and also this floor, you know, you get the herring.
Yeah,
herring.
Lovely.
Yeah, so great, you know, good moldings. The color was a little bit light on some of the wood, but this is super tall.
Yeah,
and pretty beautiful corner, which was offices at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we come into the rest of the house.
So as you can see, and this is the main living room. The fireplace is lovely. The ceiling heights are great. The floor is a little unusual, and probably came from during the 60s when the house had been like a hospital kind of place for children.
Yeah, essentially it was a convalescent home after World War II, and also it was a place where they sent the kids that were a little bit sick. And they would have 200 or 300 kids stay here. Really quite incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But they sort of make it a a little bit commercial, industrialized
they
with
made
the floors.
Yes, probably for cleanliness and things like that.
Yeah.
But the back terrace was beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Like I can just imagine all the wonderful, you know, dinners and stuff we could have had out in the back. And the view there is lovely. Now we don't own all that land, unfortunately. But the view was fantastic.
Yeah, it was only a couple acres, so it was very small area in a very small town, by the way, and again 5 hours from Paris. What you don't notice here is right on the edge of the French Alps, so there was quite a bit of elevation change. You can't see it in the video here, but that was actually quite beautiful. You could see a long ways.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Huge trees, birds singing.
No question, it was very idyllic in general, and the outside was in really good condition. The roof was beautiful. The stone on the outside had been kept really well. And there were a few period features like that mirror that we just saw, and a couple fireplaces. This room and then the dining room and then the living room all kind of had a few pieces left, but they all kind of had this 60s tile floor, probably on top of the old wood. I don't know, but I don't think we were going to be able to salvage it, needless to say.
Yeah, the flooring would have been quite a bit of work. By the way, also one of the things we noticed is the building had not really been updated with electrical, so there was very few outlets and
and light fixtures. Yeah, so there weren't a lot of ceiling lights or sconces or anything. So that would have been, I think, a huge expense.
A challenge.
Yeah.
Sometimes also fluorescent lights vertically, which that's a tough look.
Not a good look. Yeah.
Another thing that's really interesting is, so you have kind of, I believe it was 5 levels, huge building, 5 levels. But then on the 2 sides, did they call it a mezzanine? Was that right? It's halfway in between each floor was another floor, and so to try to even understand, like, this is kind of the one side.
Well, this was the back area of the main floor that maybe were originally for household I don't know, domestics
in the
or something?
tower.
I don't know.
And by the way, thank you to one of you YouTube friends who corrected us and showed us that it's actually a tower when it goes to the ground and a turret when it starts in the air. You're not sure about that?
No, I'm not
Oh,
sure.
well, this would be a tower then. Nice low roof. That'd be good to try to heat.
That's
in the winter. We could use some rooms like that.
That's true.
The staircase.
The staircase was wood. It's lovely for what it is. I was really hoping for one of those, French iron staircases. But that was kind of cool and felt...
Bit of a dip in places.
Yeah, right. It was a bit slanted and more kind of bedrooms randomly. There was a few that were in okay condition. Then there's this kind of one where it just, needs a complete overhaul, but still in great shape in terms of size, and scale.
A tremendous amount of bedrooms, not as many bathrooms, but this is an interesting one.
Yeah, this one
Double
had
shower.
a million hooks and
a lot of kids in there.
a lot of kids.
I don't know, what'd you think about the wood, the stain of the wood?
I didn't love that.
Not your thing?
No.
But some big, huge rooms, you could have a lot of students in each of these.
Well, yeah, if you
wanted
wanted
to.
a lot per room. This was a little suite that I suspect the head... head mother or
There's actually
whatever.
a couple. There's one more coming. The one you're thinking of is still coming.
Okay.
But yeah, it's and there was 30 rooms? Like
there was a lot of
bedrooms.
I renovate a lot of things for people and have decent sized properties. But this house, although we're showing you all the good bits, we'll get to some of the other levels that there were to renovate. Yeah. These were mostly a bit redecoration kind of projects, so not so bad. But even I was getting a little overwhelmed by the time we got to the top of the house of
huge.
The amount of things that we would have to gut, basically.
But check this out. I'm not sure if we go out here. Maybe we go out a little bit later. This is that little suite with a little kitchen and a bedroom off the bedroom.
So super cute.
Good for staff.
Right. Yeah.
And it had, I guess on each side there was this little, what would you call it, a Juliet balcony.
Yeah.
And it just absolutely beautiful.
It was lovely.
Yeah. So we're coming up to that. It would need some work with the bathrooms because there wasn't
there weren't a lot of bathrooms. No, there would have been a lot of sharing going on. Yeah. But again, this sort of overlooks that same terrace area. That is just lovely.
I mean, you think about this place, and again, it built the mountain air to heal people. Would have been fantastic.
Right, but as you can see, when we just looked over to the right there were, houses from the neighborhood, like literally right there.
Yeah.
And so literally, it's like I'm going to use the yard word again. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
The yard that we had was very minimal. It felt a little bit more like sort of a normal acreage kind of lot that you'd see over here.
I mean, it was kind of in the center of town, which is cool, but the town is really small. So there's like a little bakery and not even really a grocery store. So it'd be, with the amount of, cooking we'd have to do for students.
Yeah, it would be really tricky. Just the logistics of that in and of itself. Yeah. And it was down a really steep road to get there. Right. And I was imagining they would have snow there in this location.
Here's this, I believe this would be the second floor. There's, again, 5 altogether, so this would be 3 of 5.
So I didn't mind parts of this floor, actually. I liked that it probably hasn't been updated since, like, maybe the 40s or 50s. But look, the floor was great. Yeah. I love to have the wood floors there still. They just need a little stain and finish maybe and some paint on the walls, no biggie.
Yeah.
So that part was great. It's when more of the industrialized portions would keep showing up, and that was the part that started getting...
Well, just the sheer scope of the sheer number of square feet, 20,000 square feet in this place. So, just to try to pay to fix that all up, I mean...
It was room after room after room, in generally this kind of state.
If we were, here we are at the very top, you can see this is the front little, I don't know what you call that, but it's cool.
Yeah.
That attic, I like that. And look at the condition of the roof.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I wish we could have that roof.
I wish we could have that roof. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, the basement.
So the kitchen. Now, I actually, when I walked into this, the light in this room is lovely. Like, I really loved how it felt. And I don't think this kitchen had probably been used for 30 years or so, but clearly it had been industrial at one point. Mm-hmm. Whether or not anything ever still worked, was anybody's guess. They were on city water, I think.
Yeah, city water, city sewer, which would have been great.
So, I don't know how much that would have cost to have either taken that out, and I don't know.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah.
But it would have been, I think, a bit of a job to try to get that kitchen up.
And
running.
here, back here, they had a built-in, I think, freezer and walk-in cooler. Again, apologies, my camera was a little dirty this day, so the video doesn't seem like great quality.
That's true.
Okay, so now here, so once you finish with the house, you notice very quickly, and I'll see if I can find a picture to upload here.
Yeah.
There was like an annex that they added on when they had all these kids here in the maybe 60s.
It looks like it.
And it was, I mean, it was...
It's just a separate building and very 60s architecture.
Yeah.
And it's just a hallway with a bunch of classrooms.
Forward.
So, you know, for us, that would have been fantastic. Again, it's just sort of, he stored his cars and other things in it. And as you can see, where we are standing that would be behind us. And then the house is in front. So it was even connected with the terrace. But
all connected through the basement. Like when we first saw this, I thought this could be hideous, but it was actually kind of cool.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
It was clean. It would have been an easy scrub job and totally fine. Yeah, it's a little dated, but not the end of the world.
Now, most of you folks on YouTube don't know us, but some of you folks from Canada that know that I grew up at a place called Briarcrest. It felt totally like the school
It
there
does
that
feel
I
a lot
grew
like
up at.
Cairnport.
Kind of that same era, you know, industrial buildings.
Well, it feels like it just feels like an elementary school or or something like that.
Maybe stables or something. Now here, this was, you didn't know what to make about this. This was like a bunch of stalls, kind of a bathroom of sorts.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
it's
you
not
know,
like
just
they had a
storing
pool,
stuff.
but it kind of felt like a big pool bathroom.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Maybe 20 sinks.
Yeah, it was a lot.
You know, I mean, again, you had all those kids.
I don't know. Did they make them walk all the way over there? I don't know. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
However.
There it is.
But, you know, if we ever had ideas of having, a lot of students, this property probably would have helped a lot in that situation.
You could handle 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But again, proximity to Paris and even just groceries and stuff like that was honestly a big issue.
Would have been challenging. Here's kind of the only yard you really had. Out back, there was sort of like a little area that could have been a fire area. Maybe some small sports, not much.
Yeah.
They did have a bell. There it is on the left.
That's
the building,
right.
always like that.
Yeah.
And then when we go back to the front, here we go to the front, you can see that this yard looks big, but honestly, the property line is only about maybe 10 yards from the front of the asphalt.
Like when you look at this picture, about halfway down, it would be where your grass would start.
Yeah.
The other chunk belonged to the city, which then belonged to a parking lot behind where you're standing right now, to an apartment building. And
now this is also kind of interesting. There was 3 sort of apartment buildings that used to be connected to the property. They're now owned by the town, but basically empty. So again, even more room for expansion if you wanted it. So there it is, you know, the Chateau Alps, I think I call it. Just a beautiful, beautiful place.
It was beautiful.
But in the end, it was a no. Too far from Paris.
Yeah, and it just wasn't right on the inside. The outside's fantastic. The inside, it just wasn't doing it for me.
The other thing, too, was the cost to heat it. They had a 30,000 liter tank at one point they were using. 30,000 liters. Yikes. So you're looking at, a solid maybe 25,000 euros to fill that thing up, depending on what the price is. Once, to fill it up once, you're looking at that kind of money. So, I mean, you can imagine. That's a non-starter.
It's a lot of rooms.
We could never run it during the cold season.
No.
I guess maybe if a lot of students were given tuition or something, we could have. But it was beautiful, and I'm sure someone will really enjoy it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
So it was a no.
It really was. I loved that it had an H monogram in one of the turrets. I thought that was pretty great for our last name. However, again, I liked the outside. I didn't love that there was hardly any land. And that you kind of felt cornered a little bit. Didn't love that.
And the distance from Paris was kind of the killer.
It was. Location was the biggest.
So thanks for watching these. We've probably got about 12 or so. We'll try to get them all up before we get back to France so you can enjoy them. And hopefully we'll get back and then start showing some videos of our chateau.
Yay!
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay. All right. Thanks.